Hey, what's going on YouTube? Today I'm going to do a quick review on the Amazon Fire TV user interface. So let's start off by looking at the home section of the user interface. Now the interface is broken down into 10 subcategories. Now the categories consist of movies, television, applications, and games. So what Amazon does, it makes recommendations as well as what's topping the charts in each one of those categories. Additionally, what Amazon does, it has featured titles and keeps track of the user's most recently added selections. All right, so let's take a quick look at the movie section. Now, in the movie section, things are a little bit redundant when you compare it to the home section. The one big difference I've seen is there's an editorial section, which the home section doesn't have. Moving on, in the movie section, you do have some information about each title, which includes a release date as well as the rating from IMDb. One thing I was a little bit disappointed in is I can't actually look at the reviews in detail. I can just see how many were logged from IMDb's server. Now, for parents, there is a kids section, of course, for your kids to stay entertained. But I was a little bit disappointed that they don't have a parental control like you would see on the Amazon Fire tablet, which includes profiles as well as time limits that you can set for each child. But that's really going to do it for the movie section. Now, in the TV section, things are not much different than what you just heard about in the movie section, except there's television shows. One thing I would say, I do find this as a plus because it does add a level of consistency within the UI. All right, let's talk about the watch list section. Now, in the watch list section, it's very similar to what you would find in, say, like a playlist, which is kind of cool. Now, you can add items to your watch list from the home section, the movie section, the TV section, or even the video library section. There's a lot of different spots you can add it. I also say that's worth noting is you can actually add items to the watch list from your iOS or your Android device, as well as from the website itself of Amazon Instant Video. All right, let's take a quick look at the recent section. Now, obviously, the recent section is something where it allows the user to save time. Now, the items that appear in the recent section are your movies, television show, games, and of course, applications. And one of the things I really couldn't figure out, and if anyone out there has figured it out, please comment below, but I couldn't figure out how to clear your recent section. It doesn't seem to be a way where you can do that. So hopefully it's something that I missed or something that Amazon will add in a future update. Now, in terms of the number of items you can actually save in the recent items, I stopped at 21, so I think you're good in terms of the number of items show up in your recent list. Now, a couple things it won't show. It won't show trailers, and it won't show anything from your photo album. So just keep that in mind. One item I think Amazon might benefit by adding is a brief preview of the video as you channel through your recent items to give the user a better idea of what or where they are in a movie, or a brief summary of what's going on, or a preview. Now, parental controls, what you're looking at right here is looks like I've previously set up a parental control for my Amazon. So what I had to do is I have to go into my Amazon Instant Video on my computer to actually change that password. But other than that, one of the things I've noticed is when you're putting your PIN in, your actual kids can see it. So make sure you guys are kicking your kids out when you're entering that PIN so they can watch certain TV shows. And the layout for the most part is very clean. It sort of reminds me of Metro from Microsoft and their Windows 8 and their Windows Phone user interface. But I would say it's clean, but when I compare this to something like Chromecast, it really doesn't compare because pretty much you're controlling everything from your smartphone. With that said, you do have the ability to stream information from your phone itself, sort of like Chromecast. So for the most part, that's a big benefit. Also, I wanted to note is that I really couldn't see why Amazon didn't really try to create a more tighter relationship between their Amazon Instant Video app and the Amazon Fire TV unit. So things can work a little bit tighter. Scandal. All right, I think this is a feature that everyone has really come here to hear about, which is the voice search. Now, the voice search off the bat, I think it's a great feature, and the reason I think it's a great feature is because it's something that you can access from pretty much anywhere in the user interface. Also, speaking of location, uh, the button is in a good location or remote control. You don't really have to look down the remote control to know where that button is since it's at the top of the remote. And one other feature I like is it does have third-party app support. So I'm a big Hulu fan, and things seem to work really well when I'm searching for TV shows and movies. And lastly, on a positive note, I do like the fact that when I push the button on the remote control for the voice search, it's instant. So there's really no lag. Let's move on to some of the things I think Amazon can really work on. And one of the first things I would say is they could pretty much put in the voice search history. So when you push the voice search, it'll give you a list of different items that you've searched for in the past. Also, I think it might be useful if it had a feature where you could hold down the voice search button and you can release it once you're done speaking your voice search. Also, I did notice that there was a bit of an issue with background noise. So if you're going to use the voice search, make sure the environment's not too loud. Lastly,